afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, July 22, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Commitment unlocks the doors of imagination, allows vision, and gives us the right stuff to turn our dreams into reality. James Womack. The biggest discrepancy is how we've been programmed, taught, educated, however you want to look at it, is the fact that we operate mostly from the ego mind. We're there usually 24/7. Some of us have gotten to the point of becoming aware enough to know that that's not where we choose to be. And the reason why the civilization of this planet is so entrenched in the yesterday and tomorrow is because it has no clue that there's anything else. Really, does not have a clue that there is anything else. So how do we really create things then? We don't create them in yesterday and tomorrow. So why so many people get frustrated, fed up, and they just literally get irritated. And the only reason it is that spiritual source of energy. So our body-mind is a channel for the inexhaustible spiritual source of energy, love and creativity, that is found only in the present moment. Only. The more present we are, the more our body opens to this manifesting power, and the richer our experience of this life becomes. With a consistent, relaxed yet focused awareness on what you want instead of what you do not want, you will naturally and continuously manifest amazing things. Just in that nutshell right there. Now, if you had a whole bunch of us that comprehended that, then there'd be a lot of people that were creating and manifesting instantaneously on an ongoing basis, 24/7. Wouldn't that be motivation enough to walk in that energy instead of grappling and arguing and pushing and pulling either yesterday or tomorrow? See, and what do you believe it is? Is it our propensity of feeling that that's the norm or that's the way life is, that we usually don't get what we want, and that we accept that, and on rare occasion a miracle happens and then we get what we want? Well, that's the ego mind. Everything that we need across the board is inside us. Now, see, we've been taught to go everywhere we can outside of it. This entire universe and its divine consciousness is our very nature. It's our natural state of being. And this has total command over all the elements, atoms, and thought forms in existence. This is the truth of who we are. Now, you were probably told by others that you are a body, right? A name and identity that has certain beliefs and limitations. There are all kinds of ideas about who you are, and only a fraction of the truth of what and who you truly are. Just a little speck. Now, to truly understand the powerful manifesting beings that we are, you simply need to experience it for yourself. And to have this experience, you need to access your infinite potentiality by practicing dropping deeply inside. See, there is a deep stillness and silence within you, always, that is intimately connected to the all-loving, divine, universal intelligence in the present moment. There exists an inner knowing and understanding that we are all powerful and extremely magical. This body, mind, and universe are a magical hologram in which you can create anything you desire at any time. See, we have this all within us. Yet we're diverted, our attention's diverted, our interests are diverted, our motivations are diverted to everything outside of us. Look how much emphasis is made on our names, which aren't ours anyway. Names and different labels and identifications, and almost constantly reinforcing and solidifying the fact that everything worth anything is outside of us. Anything that you're going to pursue, the only thing worthwhile pursuing is that all that stuff out there is the only thing worthwhile pursuing. And along the way, we're told that you're going to find yourself, or you're going to discover about who and what you are. Now, obviously, through generations upon generations, this is how we operate. This is how we believe and how we view and look at things. In the negative, but to call it out finally, and to understand that this is why all this suffering and anger and frustration and fear and anxiety and stress is there to begin with. We're operating in the opposite frequency of our natural state of being. Okay? We are operating in the opposite frequency of our natural state of being, of abundance, manifestation, creation, on a continual basis in the now. Most of us are pegged, entrenched in yesterday and tomorrow. I can almost guarantee that the majority of people on this planet, when they go to bed at night, let's just say that tomorrow hasn't come, but they're in today. but they wander off into all kinds of things, into tomorrow, before they close their eyes. And then when they wake up in the morning, they're into tomorrow again. Very few of us focus on the now on a consistent, committed level. We don't. It is a challenge, obviously, because when you get used to doing something, like we all do, we get used to doing certain things, and we don't think twice about it, do we? We just go along and do it. We don't look at it and say, wait a minute here. We just do it because we get in the habit of doing it. And we've gotten in the habit, a deeply entrenched habit, of yesterday and tomorrow. Yesterday and tomorrow. We wander off into tomorrow, and then we wander off into yesterday. And this is why we get disappointed and we suffer, and irritated and angry, and depressed, and question ourselves. And then we create more. It's like you've heard the saying, don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry, right? And we've done that, I'm fine. You go and you buy just about everything, that you normally wouldn't buy because you're so hungry. This is the same thing. We get to this addiction of yesterday and tomorrow. And we're really hungry 24/7. So embrace this stuff, and we create it into our reality. How many of us do that? Well, pretty much all of us. Usually, we do. It's quite interesting that is pretty much the norm for this civilization. How do we get out of that? Because how are most people? Where's the guidance there to assist them, and help them pull themselves out of that? And it's very uncomfortable at first, because we all know that when we're used to doing something, then all of a sudden we shift gears into doing something totally the opposite. We're not too accommodating with it. We usually try to find ways not to, because it doesn't feel too comfortable for us, because it isn't in our comfort zone. So we do it. Some of us will do it, and then we start finding out, hey, I like this. This is totally different than yesterday and tomorrow. I always thought this was going to be boring. People talking about living in the now, how boring is that? When I can shoot off into yesterday and tomorrow until I'm blue in the face. Why would I want to just be in the now? Focus on my breath. Well, because that's the only place that you're going to ever successfully manifest what you desire, what you want. Yeah, every now and then you bump and grind, and you surface a manifestation out of the ego mind once in a great while. But the only time, it's like when you're committed, there's no turning back. A lot of people say, well, try it. Trying is useless. Doing is the positive. So you're either going to do it or you aren't. Trying is just an excuse to, at least I tried. So you do it, and you commit to it. And no matter how uncomfortable it is, or seems to be boring, you do it. Because you're on this discovery path of who you are, what you are. And right, you don't know who and what you are. So that's intriguing enough, and that's why we take our childhood curiosity and we put it out in front. This is why we do that. And so we put it out, and we're curious. So through our commitment, we start to discover things. Peace, right? Joy, bliss, happiness. It's like we open this up door into this massive room, and it's all there, waiting for us. And see, we were taught that, how are you going to find happiness? You find happiness. Well, happiness is having this or getting that or doing this or doing that. Temporarily. But not full time. The happiness is within us. Have you ever been happy for no reason whatsoever? Have you ever been joyous for no reason whatsoever? No catalyst, nothing outside of you, generating that. Just you. Someone says, well, what sparked you up today? No particular reason. I just feel happy. That's from the now. It's the only place you're going to find it is from the now, in the moment. And this is what happens with us. At times in the moment, we're just happy. We didn't get anything. We didn't do anything. We're just happy. And then we start understanding is that happiness is always there. Joy is always there. Never isn't. But yet we are pulled away and distracted by what's out there. What we see, what we hear, what we touch, what we feel. And that distracts us. Plus we have the programming. See? We have that programming, and that programming is quite interesting. Because we don't know we're programmed. Most of us on this planet don't even know we're programmed. And a lot of us will just argue the fact, oh, that's silly. We're not programmed. This is my personality. This is how I am. That's great. How did you get that from a baby to now? Where did that all come from? You didn't just, have a wand and say, there it is. You were programmed by your parents, whoever raised you. Your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, nieces, nephews, grandparents, friends, neighbors. We take it in. We take it in, and the subconscious mind processes it. And it's like a big, like I've said, a big grand whole for you. All your memories and all the things there. And then it plays them back on random schedule. Plays it back. Not only from this lifetime, but from all of them. That's what can get really confusing. Now, when we begin to realize through our growing awareness and our higher vibrational frequency that we look at yesterday and tomorrow and we say, those don't really exist. The only thing that really exists is the now. None of us have the ability, right, to absolutely guarantee that we can wake up tomorrow morning. Any of us. And it doesn't matter if you're 5 years old or 100. We know one thing. We know one constant, the now. There isn't any other thing. We know that in the now we exist. We're not 100% to know that we will exist tomorrow. And this is how we get into the habit with the awareness of the now, and then we start to understand, like in this meditation we do every day, when we go into quiet time, and we focus on the breath, and we relax into the body, and we're still as a statue. That's where our true manifesting power is. There. It's there. We don't wander. We don't go into tomorrow, and we don't go into yesterday. We're just in the now. And we get used to, after a while, we move into that more and more and more. Doesn't mean we don't flip over to yesterday and tomorrow, because we do. But see, the more we commit and the more we practice, the more we will stay, in the now. And, this is something, unfortunately, that a lot of people can say, oh, yeah, I'm in the now. That's great. But it's ego-minded and it's superficial. We're saying to people that's what they want to hear, so I'll just tell them that I'm in the now. This is how we ascend. This is how we increase our vibrational frequencies. This is how we progress. No other way. We could lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, not knowing who and what we are, never going anywhere. Sure, you can learn, experience, that type of thing, but really never really progressing. So you see how important it is for us to be truly aware, to know who and what we are, and to love ourselves deeply and eternally, all parts of ourselves. Not just the good parts, but the bad parts too. Not just the light parts, but the dark parts too. And to clean the slate and forgive ourselves for whatever we've been carrying with us for so long. You don't know, it may not even be stuff in this lifetime. It might be stuff in other lifetimes that you don't know. You're like, well, I guess it's this lifetime. It just depends. And we're the only ones that can make that decision. No one's going to make it for you. It's got to come from you. No one's going to do it for you. What would we learn? What would we learn if someone did it for us? Wouldn't learn anything. Just imagine that. We're that near it. It's within us. You can't be any closer. Because it is us. You realize that every one of us have the power to, when we discover this and we put it all together, you have the power to manifest anything instantaneously that you want. No arguing that at all. It's inherent. It's with all the gods that we are in these bodies. So when we get in the body, we have that power to manifest anything we desire, that we want. Happy planet, healthy people. It's endless. Would we be busy? Yeah, we would be busy. Every day, all the time. Be different perspective, though. We wouldn't be so hell-bent on having as much as loving, helping. Because with higher spiritual awareness, your values change. Since you know that you can manifest anything for yourself that you want, right? Now, we're talking about there's a lot of people that won't in this lifetime. They're just not going to. It's just not going to be there. And then there's the people that will kind of bounce around that you're going to come across that may be receptive to know that there's a lot more than just yesterday and tomorrow. A lot more. When you view in the quiet time and you begin to understand that, and to see your ego mind is always there trying to de-convince you that now, that there's no such thing as the now. There's only yesterday and tomorrow. So what are you wasting your time for? And a lot of us listen to that. And it's not like a handful of us have this ability. We all have it. Why wouldn't we? After all, this is supposed to be a God-planet paradise for us. Someone might say, what the heck happened? We forgot. We got so low in lower vibrational frequencies that we forgot who and what we are. So that makes it real interesting, doesn't it? It means that we get programmed in a whole different way. Because your parents, whoever raised you, didn't inform you or share with you who and what you are at all. Didn't talk about the now, in the moment. Didn't talk about meditation. Didn't talk about how omnipotently powerful and supreme being that you are, and how the perfect divineness that you are. See, we didn't get that. We got pretty much the opposite. And it's deeply embedded in us, that programming. So this is why we take it one step at a time. A little bit at a time. Little sip here, little sip there. And we become more aware. So we view things a lot differently. You might say to yourself, okay, so how much trust do you have in yourself? How much faith do you have in yourself? And how much confidence do you have in yourself? And just be straight up with yourself. Because when you're at 100% on all three of those, and with this universe, and you're in the now, it's an unbeatable energy. You're a literal manifesting machine. But you know it, see? You're aware of it, along with the confidence, trust, and faith in yourself and this universe. And you spend most of your time in the now. And eventually, a lot of us will spend all of our time in the now. We won't be second-guessing. We won't need to. We won't have the mind chatter. We won't have the ego mind. Because it won't, see, as the longer you're in the now, the less the ego mind is around. Yeah, as soon as you step back there, it's there. But what do you think it's going to do when most of the time you're not in the same house it is? Well, it's going to get less and less. And this falls into, you then begin to embrace and comprehend that you're in command. You're the master of you, this life. And for so many of us, it is so near and yet so far. If we don't take those steps, right, and commit, then we will be the way we have been for millennia. Being programmed, all with the wrong stuff, and not really ever discovering who and what we are. Lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. How do you reprogram yourself? Well, you move into gratitude and stay in gratitude. You don't go anywhere else. You're not in the negative space where you're constantly saying, when's this going to happen, when's that going to happen, how is this going to happen, what am I going to do now, how am I going to do it now, how am I going to survive, and all this ego mind stuff comes flooding in, and the ego mind, remember, is the most insecure thing on the planet. And you just kind of nudge yourself and say, I'm going into the now. That's it. Then you won't experience disappointment. I think we've all had enough of that to last us forever. Not just this lifetime, but thousands of others. We know what disappointment is, which keeps us clear and sharp on gratitude for everything. Always. So in the quiet time of this meditation, when you move into the now, you're focusing on your breath rising and falling so that you're in the now. You're in a comfortable position and you're literally relaxing into the body. You can feel it as you lean into your body, and everything starts to de-stress. And you notice that you're as still as a statue, and you don't have really, you're not worried because you're only in the now. There's no worry there. There's no mind chatter there. There's no 60,000 thoughts hammering you every split second there. You see, it's clear. And then what do? Focus on something that you want. Anything, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. And you're in the now, and focus on something that you want. Be very detailed about it, very concise and clear, and express that to the universe, knowing that you have 100% confidence, faith, trust in yourself and this universe. And then you just let it go. And you have no expectations. And you don't have any attachments. And you have this very light feeling. Rest is history. The less we try to control ourselves, the freer we will become. The less we try to control everything, the freer we will become. When control no longer is front and center for us, and we just don't really, it's not interesting for us at all, being in the now is, then we will all experience true freedom. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return and close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, focused on your breath rising and falling. It's time to tell everyone just how much you care about them, without the expectation of getting anything back. Be vulnerable and share your deepest, most authentic, heartfelt appreciation. For this will heal you and heal them. It might be just a few words of simple gratitude from your heart. Or it could be doing something for them that lets them know that you sincerely care. Your mission is to go beyond fear and experience the deep vulnerability that comes with taking the risk to break free from your egoic prisons. Because the day will definitely come when this human relationship ends and you meet the 100,000 archangels who are all behind you, cheering you on to love more every step of the way. Make the choice to let your life be extra magical today. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night the following morning. We will return here Tuesday, July 23, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. And this Wednesday we will be having a time for change call at around 9:15 p.m. Eastern. You might want to take notes on this one. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening within you nor outside of you. Open your heart and let the magic flow in.